Hi everybody, Penny here. Welcome to my kitchen. So, 2 weeks ago we did a marmalade cake. Now we're going to do morning marmalade muffins. So this is a healthier version using marmalade instead of sugar. So in this cup, or this bowl, I have half a cup of melted butter. It doesn't have to be melted, but it should be soft. Then I'm going to add a half a cup of marmalade. And after the marmalade, then I'm going to add, because marmalade of course is orange, I'm going to add a half a cup of orange juice. There we go. And we're going to whisk all that together. I did put the marmalade in the microwave for about 20 seconds just to warm it up a bit, because I didn't want my butter to become solid again, and which would make it harder to cream. So we got that all mixed up. Now we're going to have 2 eggs. I have 2 extra large eggs, and I'm also going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I always then put them in with the egg if the recipe calls for egg. Not really sure why. Just a habit that I started. Somewhere in my mind, I think it spreads better in the batter, but that could be totally wrong. But it makes me feel good, so it's all good. Alrighty. So I did leave the eggs out beaten for a few minutes so they weren't as cold. So as you can see, my butter has not formed little balls. If your marmalade is cold, your orange juice is cold, and your eggs are cold, then your butter is going to form little balls, and you don't really want that for this particular recipe. So you can either leave it out, the marmalade and the orange juice and the eggs, but for the marmalade and the orange juice, you could also pop it in the microwave like I did for about 20 seconds. Okay, so that's our wet ingredients. Now we're going to go over our dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I have 1 cup of whole wheat flour, a half a cup of ground flaxseed, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. So to that, we're also going to add half a cup coconut, half a cup oatmeal, half a cup almonds, and a half a cup of walnuts. But before I do that, I'm going to put these in the food processor so they make like a fine, almost look like a fine ground coffee. Not quite breadcrumbs, but that texture. And that's really loud. So we're going to pause for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it all ground up, and I'll just attempt to show you here. You can see a little bit of the almonds and stuff are still a bit bigger, but most of it is like just finely ground, almost like coffee grounds. So that is going to go in with our dry mixture. But before I do that, I'm just going to mix in the spices and whatnot a little bit here. So that'll be thoroughly combined. And then we'll throw in all of this stuff. And this all adds protein, fiber, flavor, which is great. You can use white flour if you don't have whole wheat flour. The whole wheat flour just bumps up the fiber a little bit. Okay, now I am going to take our wet ingredients and make a well in the, let's see what I'm doing, make a little well in the dry ingredients. Then we're going to add the wet ingredients. And you don't want to leave any of all that goodness behind. So use a spatula if you have one. And then we're going to start folding. So remember, mixing is this motion. Folding is go around the bowl, over and back. Around the bowl, over and back. There we go. And at this point, it's about halfway mixed, so I'm going to add a half a cup of raisins. You could use currants, which are my favorite. You could use chocolate chips. You could use another nut. You could use dried blueberries, dried cranberries. Whatever you like, you can use in your muffins. These happen to be raisins because I'm all out of currants. There we go. So we mix these in. Make sure we get it all up from the bottom. And the oven is preheated to 350. And we're going to fill these up. And we're going to bake them for about 20 minutes. And then we'll be back. Hi everybody, back again. The muffins are done. And I have one right out of the oven. It's still even warm. And it is delicious. I hope you give them a go. Enjoy. Bye.